Hello and welcome to episode 169 of Southern Gospel Now. I'm Greg Goodman. Our report is brought to you by Daywind.com, where you'll find Southern Gospel CDs and soundtracks. Congratulations to Karen Peck and New River's Grant Gibson and his wife Susanna. They welcomed their second son into the world August 17th. Harrison Scott Gibson arrived at 5:22 p.m. He weighed in at 6 pounds, 6 ounces, and was 19 and a half inches long. Grant talks about his experience with fatherhood to date with his older son, Oliver.
Honestly, I love everything about it. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. One of my favorite things to do is actually pick him up from school when I'm home, see that excitement. Most of the time, people aren't that excited to see me, but he is. We have fun. We go to the park, and I'll take him places. And his favorite thing to do is go to the aquarium in Atlanta. So we've done that a few times. He loves saltwater fish and sharks, and that's his thing.
Sarah Davidson of High Road and her husband Trevor are expecting. Sarah says the baby will be a wonderful Christmas present.
Trevor and I were so surprised, and we are so blessed with a new little bundle of joy coming into our lives this December. And we appreciate everyone's prayers. We are so excited. We're not finding out if it's a boy or a girl, so that makes it kind of fun that we're going to be surprised. And December truly can't come fast enough. So thanks, y'all, for praying for us.
The current hit from Southbound is Middle of Nowhere. Clint Brown of the group wrote the song and offers some thoughts.
When I think about our latest single, Middle of Nowhere, it just reminds me that throughout my life, I've experienced the fact that no matter where I've been in my life, up or down, whether I felt like I was on a mountaintop or in a valley, I could always count on one thing. God has never left me, but he's always met me in the middle of nowhere. He'll meet you there as well.
Legacy 5's latest hit off their Project 25 is You Have Always Been My Shepherd. Wayne Hahn was one of the writers and shares the story behind the song.
I was the biggest fan of Don Cook and Dave Clark's songwriting. In college, I had all the cassettes of like For Him and Phillips, Craig, and Dean. I thought they were the greatest writing team and still do. And when they invited me some 30 years later to sit down with them, I was so intimidated. But I'm glad I went, and there was a sweet spirit in the room from the first hour to the last one. We had lunch together. I was able to tell them how big of an impact they had on my life. Don, not only as a songwriter, but as a producer as well. He was such a good producer. And that was the last song we wrote that day. And he said, look, in my sickness, I have learned to trust the shepherd. And I'm so glad we wrote that one. And I'm glad that it's connecting with people. Don would be real proud of this one.
40 days and 40 nights of Christian music at the Ark Encounter continues in Williamstown, Kentucky. Ray Flynn, president of Abraham Productions, which puts on the event, says it's more than just entertainment.
It's one of those kind of events that once you get in there and you get to see what all that God is doing, you just don't want to leave. You know, last year we had over 2,000 people who accepted Jesus Christ at this event. And so we are in great anticipation of what's going to happen this year during the 40 days and 40 nights of Christian music at the Ark Encounter.
To date, 1,224 people have given their lives to Christ at this year's event. More details on scheduled artists and speakers at 40daysofchristianmusic.com. Scotty Edmonds' latest song is Man on the Middle Cross. Scotty and Jason Krab have teamed up for a special acoustic performance of the song. Here's a sample of that.
When I'm standing at the gate and it's all said and done, the man on the middle cross, he said I could come. He said I could come.
You can find this video of Man on the Middle Cross from Scotty Edmond and Jason Krab on YouTube. Greater Vision's current powerful tune is Your Healing is on the Way. John Epley wrote the song and talks about the lyric, Faith spoke these words.
Faith spoke these words to their soul. That line came as I was thinking about the blind man and the lady who touched the hem of Jesus' garment. And I believe that day when they heard Jesus was coming, it was their faith that took them to Jesus or caused them to call out for Jesus. And I believe that everyone who is waiting for healing now, it's faith that keeps them going, faith that keeps them believing healing is on the way.
Jim Brady of Jim and Melissa Brady shares about the duo's song, Covered. Jim describes the tune as a celebration.
I love the message of the song. It's just kind of a celebration of God's precious blood that He shed to save us, to redeem us. It talks about the mistakes. We are human. We make mistakes. We mess up. We fail. But thank God we have the precious blood that covers us and wipes all that clean, takes that away.
The Krab family has been blessing us with their music for the better part of 30 years. Adam Krab shares a story from the early days of the ministry.
We had a bus that Dad kind of did all the inside, the bunks and all that kind of stuff. It actually was Ricky Skaggs' old bus, and they had spray painted the inside of that, the Velcro, and it was almost like sandpaper. So anytime you'd hit a curve or a bump, you're going to get scraped up a little bit.
I'm sure today's buses offer a little more comfort. Time for a look at the top Southern Gospel songs of the week from the Power 50 chart.
Number 5.
You Have Always Been My Shepherd, Legacy 5.
You have always been my shepherd, always been my guide.
Number 4.
Forgiven, Joseph Habedank.
But now I'm forgiven by the power of His love.
Number 3.
Be Ready, Karen Peck at New River.
No matter what you say, no matter what you do, be ready, be ready.
Number 2.
He Sent Him for Me, The Inspirations.
You sent Him for me.
Number 1.
Your Healing Is on the Way, Greater Vision.
Your healing is on the way.
That's our report. You can go back and explore earlier episodes of Southern Gospel Now wherever you find podcasts or at southerngospelnow.com. Southern Gospel Now is brought to you in part by southerngospelprizes.com. Currently, you can register to win Brian Free and Assurance's forthcoming EP, Grateful for the Gospel. Registration and details at southerngospelprizes.com. I'm Greg Goodman. Thank you so much for joining me. Love your neighbor, and I'll see you back here next week with more Southern Gospel news on Southern Gospel Now.